If you're watching this video, you may have been lied to, because stop caring what other people think isn't just bad advice, it is impossible. But in these next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to make what other people think irrelevant to your life forever, because it is exhausting, isn't it? And I know, because I used to overthink what to wear, what to say, how to be, what to post, all because of what other people might think, until I learned these three things. What was really going on in my subconscious mind, why it seems so effortless for some people to be confident but not for me, and how to actually break free from that addiction to external validation. And that is exactly what I'm going to share with you in this video today. If you are ready for confidence, for magnetism, for authenticity, for mental peace from all of that overthinking, then make sure you watch until the very end. So what is actually going on in your subconscious mind? Why is it that so many people seem to have this issue of caring about what other people think? And it doesn't even make sense, does it? When we really think it through, we're not going to die. Even if everyone laughed at us, we're gonna keep living, everything's gonna be fine. So why does it feel, if you felt that feeling, it's literally like your body is paralyzed. If you wanna speak up and you just can't, there's something deeper happening and you can feel it. And that's the reason why just stop caring what people think is such bad advice, because this is something that is evolutionarily within our minds, each and every one of us. And we're gonna talk about why it seems like some people don't have that. But back in the day, if I can take you on a little journey, we lived in tribes. You needed your tribe to survive. Your literal life depended on whether these people accepted you within the tribe. If you were exiled from the tribe, you would not have means of getting food, you would not be able to procreate, you would not be able to fulfill all of our most basic animal needs. And that's why it feels, even though you logically know, maybe you don't even like this person, why should you care what they think? Your basic primal brain is telling you you need to be accepted in order to survive. And so it's not a personality trait or anything that's wrong with you. It's simply a misplaced survival response. And when we can accept this, we can see, okay, I'm actually pretty normal. There's nothing wrong with me. My brain is just a little bit confused right now about what is safe and what is not safe. And we can understand how to move forward from there. What I want you to take away from this first point is to remember every single time that you feel that feeling coming up, you start to get thoughts coming into your mind of, what will people think of this? Will they like it? Do I look good? Will it be acceptable? Will it get validation? I want you to remember, this is not about anything other than safety. My body thinks it's unsafe. If you actually know what the core problem is, you know how to fix it. Because oftentimes, if all these thoughts are coming into your mind, what is your solution, right? Do you try to convince yourself that they all are gonna like it? Do you try to convince yourself that you actually don't care whether they like it or not, whether they like you or not? If any of these things are lies, if you actually do care, if you actually don't know whether they're gonna like it or accept you, your subconscious brain is gonna know that, because your subconscious mind is much smarter than your conscious brain. Your conscious brain, I heard it described as a broom closet in the mansion of your mind. When you try to will yourself into doing it, I am gonna be confident, I am not gonna care what they think, your subconscious mind is just laughing at you, because it knows that's a lie. It knows that you care. It knows that you're feeling a lot of anxiety right now. Your subconscious is like a dog that can sniff out that fear no matter what you try to convince yourself of. Does that mean that you're going to be held back with this forever? Absolutely not. It's even better than that. It means that you get to accept that. You get to say, of course I'm feeling scared, because this is back from the tribal days. This is an old part of my brain. This is a survival response that's being triggered. I can accept that. And your subconscious brain is going to be like, yeah, we're on board with this. So now all the parts of your brain are agreeing with each other. The moment that you're going to get stuck is when your subconscious is saying, this is very unsafe, this is very bad, we should not do this. And your conscious is saying, I should do this, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just start posting on social media? Why can't I just be my authentic, funny self when I'm around new people? Your brain is fighting. Your subconscious mind and your conscious mind is at a war with each other, and you're not going to be able to move forward. When you can bring your conscious mind in agreement with your subconscious mind by saying, yeah, I feel really uncomfortable right now. This is because of that survival response. Actually now, your brain's in agreement, pathways start to open up. that you can actually say, even though I feel this feeling right now, I know that this is an old safety response and I am safe. And the affirmations that you want to be doing, the tools that you want to be using are about safety. Focus on the point of safety and you're going to be able to find a lot more momentum with your confidence and being your authentic self. So if this is all a survival response, we all have this primal lizard brain, why is it so easy for some people? Why does it seem so active in some people and not in others? The reason for that is based off of two things. One, your natural disposition, the soul path that you choose. What is your star sign? What is your human design? How do you just naturally act? We all have our own personalities, which our soul chose before we came to Earth. The second thing is, of course, the events that played out from the moment we were conceived in our mother's womb until especially around the age of 7 to 10 years old. This is going to form the foundation of which survival responses get triggered in us and which do not. Basically, your brain is trying to make a map of the world of how is the safest way for me to act. So if when you pushed your will forward, you said what you want, you did what you wanted to do, you found as a young child that this was safe, you are then going to be motivated by your subconscious mind, by your survival instincts to keep doing that, to keep being seen, to keep getting attention, to keep shining, to keep being your authentic self. If at any moments you learn that when I speak up, I get criticized, I'm not accepted by my tribe, my life is now in danger. And remember, as a child, we take on everything as being about us. We see the world from a self-centered viewpoint until we get to a point of maturity. So if we took those steps of saying what we want, of being who we are, and we received any sort of pushback, of criticism, of messages that we were not good, that the way we're acting was not good, this was wrong and we should stop it, our brain will then feed that information back to the survival responses and tell us, in order for you to be accepted, in order for you to be safe, you need to push down these aspects of yourself. You need to think about how other people are feeling. You need to monitor the situation. That's when these survival responses like fawning come up. And that is when we appease or please or pander to how the other people around us are. If you notice that you're sometimes nodding yes, and actually you're feeling inside like no, or somebody's doing something that's making you really uncomfortable, but you're just smiling along in the situation, or somebody asks you, oh, I don't mind, whatever you think, whatever movie you want to watch, and your body's like, that's stress, I can't make this decision, I don't know what I want. I would even have been afraid in the past to play the music that I liked, because being the DJ in a room was terrifying to me. I don't know what they want to listen to. What do they want to listen to? What if they don't like it? Well, they think that it means this about me. Such a small thing is a perfect example of how we learn to tune out what is my desire, what do I want, what is my body saying in this moment, and instead tune into what do the other people around me want, so that I can stay safe, so that I can get the love that I need, so that I can get the acceptance that I need. And so it's a pretty smart system that you've got going on. If you've been beating yourself up about how you're such a people pleaser and how, you know, you're such a timid girl and why can't you be like those confident people, realize that what your younger self did, what is going on inside your subconscious mind is very, very intelligent strategies to keep you protected. It's always been self-preservation and not self-sabotage. Your mind is not your enemy. Your mind is always working for you. Sometimes the human mind gets confused though, but the universe doesn't get confused. The universe always wants to support you and push you to let go of any of these coping mechanisms that are not actually serving you. And so that's why oftentimes you feel this desire to change. You feel anxiety, this frustration or this stuckness of knowing that you can be so much more. And that is all of your potential pushing down on you and wanting to come through. If you feel stressed that you're stuck in these patterns, know that is just a signal that there is so much more available to you. And it's also a signal that you're now ready to actually move beyond this pattern. Because you've seen some people that clearly have unhealthy pattern that from the outside might seem so obvious, but they themselves are either not aware of it or it actually just doesn't bother them. They don't feel like they need to change, right? That is because they're not having this pressure feeling that you are feeling, because maybe they're not ready to change. Maybe that's not part of their soul path yet. And we can never interfere with somebody else's soul path because we have no idea the millions of nuances of why they need to be where they are right now. Maybe it's not their time to change. But if you're watching this video, if you're feeling that frustration, I call it like the uncomfortable coat syndrome, where you feel that this old self, these old coping mechanisms are like a coat that's got too tight. It used to fit you perfectly, but you've grown now. And now it feels itchy, it feels constraining, and you just want to take it off. That means that you're actually at the point in your soul journey where you are ready to change. And that brings us perfectly onto point 3 of how to actually break this addiction of going into survival mode. It's a pretty simple shift, but I'm gonna need you to practice it regularly. If you've been listening carefully throughout this video, you've probably started to notice that caring what other people think actually has nothing to do with you wanting to please other people, with you wanting to be a nice person. It has nothing to do with them, and it's actually everything to do with you. It was all about if you're going to be accepted, if you're going to be loved. It was always about you. And we need to remember that if we're going to break the cycle, because this spiritually is the real reason why caring what other people think is going to stop you from manifesting an amazing life. All of the mental stress aside, energetically, what happens when you're wanting this approval, you're wanting this validation from a boyfriend, from a situationship, from your friends, from your boss, from your co-workers, from the random people on the street, whoever it is, as soon as you want energy from them, you become a taker. You become somebody who is tuned in to the physical world. There is 2 ways of getting energy. There is the linear method of exchanging energy from other people. I say the things that you like, and then you give me acceptance. I be a good girlfriend to you, and then you stay with me and you make sure that I don't have to be all alone in this world and face my fears. It's this exchange energy. And the second way of getting energy is the vertical method. It's when you connect into a higher power. All of your validation, all of your safety, all your security is coming from a higher power. It's coming from you connecting into the universe, you trusting the universe, you, most importantly, acting like the universe. Other people have limited energy, just like you. They're not an all-powerful universe who can see every part of our soul plan. They have their own limiting beliefs, they have their own survival responses. And so the energy that you're going to be able to get is always going to be limited. Why plug into a portable power bank when you can plug into the whole electricity of the world, and you will have unconditional love, acceptance, validation, and security within yourself forever? That is what we want to plug into. How do we do that? We do that by acting like the source. If you act like God, you are connected to the energy source of God, and you don't need it from other people around you anymore. As soon as you start to take it from other people, you're a taker. God is not a taker. The universe is not taking anything from you. It's an endless force of sharing. If we put 2 and 2 together, as soon as I want validation from other people, not just when I want it, but when I take it without saying, I recognize this and I don't want this. I don't want this validation from this person. I don't need this acceptance. I'm going to pause and I'm going to not act on this desire to get the validation. I'm going to not act on this desire to get liked. I'm going to pause and I'm going to ask, what's happening within my body? How can I be a sharing force right now? And so in Kabbalah, this is called switching from a linear vessel to a circular vessel. And that is how you're going to be able to move into manifesting much more and being much more stable and confident within yourself by connecting to that higher power, by acting like that higher power, not being a taker, but being the giver. Being the giver in the room. As soon as you start to go into a room of people and you're thinking, what are they thinking of me? Who's going to like me? Who am I going to talk to? How am I not going to be uncomfortable? You want to switch that around. How can I give? Who looks like they're uncomfortable? How can I make them feel a little bit less uncomfortable? How can I share with these people? What do these people need from me? This is the energy that is going to make you magnetic. And there's only one caveat here. This is something new for your brain. We already know anything new, it's uncertain grounds. Our brain's going to be like, what is this? Freaking out a little bit. What I want you to do is I want you to not have feeling comfortable, feeling happy when you're being confident, feeling good, all of these me goals, I want you to remove that for a moment, okay? I want you to remove that as your goal, and I want you to make your goal just showing up and sharing with others. Giving as much of your light as you can, knowing when to say no, setting boundaries. And so just these actions are the only things that you're going to focus on. And if it feels uncomfortable, I want you to get really, really excited, because I'm going to tell you a secret. You might have heard of this thing called neuroplasticity. This is our brain's ability to change. But what most people don't know is this really only takes force. This really only gets activated if you are in an uncomfortable situation. If you have a stroke, for example, and you can't use your left arm, the way that they actually train your brain to be able to use that arm again is by strapping down your right arm. So the right arm's working, you want to make a nice sandwich, you want to have a cup of tea, you would want to use your right arm. That would make sense. That would make you feel happier. That would make you feel more comfortable in the moment. But no, in order for the brain's neuroplasticity to actually take place, you have to strap down that right arm. And now you're uncomfortable. Now you feel like it would be so much easier if I just unstrap this right arm. That is exactly how you're going to feel. It would be so much easier if I just didn't say no right now. It would just be so much easier if I just didn't wear that extra AF outfit that I want to wear to just go to this coffee shop. It would be so much more comfortable right now if I sent that extra text message to check that you're not mad at me because I said this, right? That would make me feel comfortable. I would feel better to just check that in with them. No, you're going to strap down that right arm, metaphorically speaking, and you're going to be so excited that you're in the uncomfortable zone. Because as soon as you feel that uncomfortable, I want you to remember this video, bam, neuroplasticity is happening right now. I am actually, without even doing anything other than just being uncomfortable right now, my brain is rewiring all of these patterns. I'm becoming a new person. Therefore, I'm unlocking a whole new life that I'm going to be able to manifest. And remember that everything is connected. If you're doing this, if you're feeling uncomfortable in relationships or with friends, that's going to affect how much money you're able to manifest, how healthy you're able to be, what house you're going to be able to buy, how your family relationships are going to be. Everything is connected. When you activate that neuroplasticity by being uncomfortable and being excited that you're uncomfortable, this is going to be the game changer. You're going to be the giver, not the taker. You're going to think about the other people and shift all of that focus away from thinking about yourself. You're going to know this is just a survival response. This is based off of what my brain thought was most safe as a child. There is nothing wrong with me. And the fact that it feels uncomfortable right now is not my sign to stop. It's my sign to double down, because I finally activated my neuroplasticity and life is going to change. I am going to be that confident girl who I know is within me and I know I'm capable of. If this video was valuable for you, make sure that you subscribe, because the next one is even better.